Jordan, this past Saturday, things did not go favorably for the Tigers, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, and more specifically than the defensive side of the ball, the defensive secondary got absolutely annihilated, destroyed, burnt, taken advantage of, whatever adjectives you want to use to describe that performance on Saturday. It was an unimaginable collapse by the secondary of Clemson last week. And that's not to take anything away from Duke's offense or Darian Mensah or how good of a quarterback he is or how good of a season he is having, because he is having a very good season. And we talked about going into this game of how great they were at throwing the football, and they were going to attack Clemson. And we were worried about it. I don't know that we quite saw the defensive collapse that we, eventually saw on Saturday. I don't know that we saw that coming. But we did have our concerns going into the game. But it was much, much worse than we thought it was going to be. Now that we've had, a few days to kind of digest that loss and go back and look at pieces of it and kind of try to figure out and wrap our heads around what all went wrong. Just give us your thoughts now that you've had a couple days on just kind of that loss and really the defensive collapse that we witnessed this past Saturday, because that's something that I don't know we've seen quite that bad, at least for a long, long time from a Clemson defense.
Yeah. That's about as bad as it gets, man. I mean, it looked bad when in real time watching it. On the rewatch, it was just as bad. I mean, listen, I mean, there's really no excuse for the level of the lack of attention to detail, the lack of any sort of consistency. Listen, Duke made some contested catches. I mean, Cooper Barkate was tough for this team to cover. I mean, he's a good receiver. But the one, he made some tough catches on third or fourth down. Okay, you can live with those, but the coverage busts were just mind-numbing. Just things that should never happen within the course of a game. Not to that degree. It was awful, and I'm not I don't think Pro Football Focus is the bastion of media or sports statistics and player grades, but I just want to read some of these to you because they reflect what you see on tape. So overall, defensively, your best overall graded player was Peter Woods on the day with a 72.4 grade. Kobe McLeod was actually not far behind him with 71.3. So Kobe McLeod, continues to play decently, play pretty well. He's had some, he's strung together a few nice games in the time he's played. But I don't really want to spend too much time on that. I don't want to look at the overall grades. I want to look at the coverage grades. Ronan Hannafin had a 35.9 coverage grade. And that's not even the worst, by the way. I just wanted to point him out specifically because he had obviously the biggest noticeable busts on tape. I mean, obviously when you're a safety, if you get if you have a coverage bust, you're probably
pretty noticeable. Yeah. Yeah. You're probably getting 6 if you bust coverage.
Yeah. That was miserable. Sammy Brown, 29.7 was your worst on the day. And he had a 50 grade on the game. Yeah, so clearly not one of his better games. And the tape tends to agree there. I mean, I think he played fine, and I mean he's always really active in run support. And obviously Duke did not run the football very well, very effectively. So kudos to them. But communication in the second level was just horrendous. Tink Kelly, 53.7 coverage grade. Obviously, he gave up he gave up the first touchdown of the game. and just wasn't even really that competitive on the route, and he lost. He was like 2 steps behind the defender. Like there was no chance. I mean, you're really in a situation. I have to keep reading, man. Ashton Hampton 56.2, Wade Woodaz 56.5, Brandon Strozier 59.9. Like, just inexcusable for a defense to be that horrendous. And listen, I've given my defenses of the coaching in the secondary at times over the years, but it's not good enough, man. I'm over it, especially at safety. It's just not even close to good enough. I mean, not only do you clearly not have the talent that you thought you did at safety, but they're not even playing like they're getting competent coaching. Ricardo Jones has been a pretty disappointing player this year. Ronan Hannafin, obviously, like he's flashed early, but as he's played more, he's gotten exposed more. Khalil Barnes, we have talked ad nauseum about how much he's regressed over the years he's been here. It's
such a disappointment.
It's flat out just inexcusable. It's flat out not good enough. And Dabo ripped into those guys on Saturday, and you saw it. But at the end of the day, like, they're not getting. I refuse to believe that they are just that bad. I mean, we've seen all of them play better at different points in their career. They look awful, man. Like, awful. Like, this is like high school level play, which you consider who their position coach is and his background. So yeah. Like, I definitely expect, I usually don't talk about like coaching changes and all that, but I certainly expect changes to be made there. Probably, might not be during the season, probably won't be during the season, but I certainly expect changes to be made there. It's just not good enough, man. That's inexcusable. The level of play that we saw, and it's happened too often over the years. It's not just, this was not an isolated incident. Obviously, the secondary played awful against SMU. They've looked pretty miserable in other games this year, and you can in last year, the year before that, just too many. I mean, you just have not had a season where you've put together a really, really good secondary since 2021.
Yeah,
that secondary was pretty good. Andrew Booth and Mario Goodrich and those guys, they were pretty good on the back end. I mean, 2023 they were fine. I mean, and Nate Wiggins obviously had a really big season, and you had R.J. Mickens and Jalen Phillips, and that was a pretty competent group, collectively. But you have not had the level of talent on the back end that you did. It's clear. And I like Avion Terrell, but he's not his brother. That's apparent. Not all his fault, but he did not have his best game on Saturday. And Ashton Hampton has regressed. So, just the collective coaching, the collective level of play that we've seen this year, it's unacceptable especially for two position coaches that have been here as long as they have. And I love Mike Reed to death. He has done a lot. He's put a lot of players in this, into the league, but this has not been his best coaching job. And I wonder how much of that, I wonder how much of that is like, just him not being able to coach the guys up, or is there like a disconnect between him and Tom Allen and Mickey Kahn? I don't know, but all of it is not good. All of it is not good enough. Just point blank. Like, you need drastic changes in that position.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Jordan. There's obviously, I mean, just defensively as a whole, as we look at it and think about it, the collection of coaches that are currently there, the collection of players that is currently there, it's not working. And obviously we don't have the inside knowledge of the program that it would take in order to know exactly what the catalyst is and what the issues are. But I think it's very clear that there are going to be coaching changes on the defensive side of the ball come season's end. If you watch Dabo Sweeney's press conference this week, he did not allude to that. We know it's not going to happen in season because he did flat out say it's his philosophy that you don't fire coaches in season, right? Fine. There will be changes this offseason, but there's not only going to be coaching changes, there's going to be personnel changes. I think Dabo Sweeney dropped a couple hints in his press conference of alluding to the fact that the transfer portal will be a part of Clemson's plan this offseason in a much bigger way than it has been any other season before. You kind of rattled off the grades there, and there's really nothing more to say other than it's unacceptable. You flat out got embarrassed on your own field. You couldn't stop anything. It was blown coverage after blown coverage, safeties getting caught with their eyes in the backfield, not paying attention to what they should be paying attention to, taking poor angles, getting run past. I mean, you have an offense that finally got it going, right? The defense gets a couple stops. You get a lead heading into halftime. You have an opportunity to get off the field and give your offense a chance to probably get 3 more points. Just judging by how good of a field goal kicker we have, right? Instead, you let a guy run behind you for a 50-plus yard touchdown pass. And instead of going into half at a minimum up 7 points, you're going in tied. How do you let somebody run past you in that situation? Even if they catch something underneath and convert, so be it.
Their kicker sucks.
You can't let them run past you. That's the one thing you can't do in that situation. If they catch a pass underneath and get a first down, like I said, so be it. Let them try to kick a field goal. Their kicker's freaking terrible. Instead, I don't know what you're doing. How do you get beat on that? How do you let that guy run past you? It makes no sense. And that happened so many times in that game. That's just one instance of like not knowing the situation that you are playing in, not knowing the down and distance and what's going on in the game to know that you can't let anybody past you, right? And it was just that all day. I mean, they converted 6 fourth down plays. They were 6 of 6 on fourth down. They converted third down plays, third and long. Like, I mean, it was just a comedy of errors for the defense. They couldn't get out of their own way. The secondary, I mean, that's probably the worst game I've ever seen them play. And it directly falls at the feet of the coaches, the players as well, but the coaches. There's got to be changes, man. There's got to be changes. This is not working. It's not as simple as, we bring in a couple extra people or bring in a couple, people from the portal and kind of retool this and give it another go next year. I kind of alluded to it during the post game. There's got to be some fundamental changes. And this game, it didn't, like, we already knew that. But this was just another, glaring highlight on the reel of Clemson football is in a bad way right now.
Dude, my question is, what do you even do? Because they can't play man, and they can't play zone, or they can't coach it. That they can't coach it clearly. Like, and that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
Tom Allen talked about it. He's like, yeah, we haven't really been able to be as man heavy as we want because we can't cover. And so it's like, I don't know. Like as a defensive coordinator, like what do you call? Because they can't run anything. You run man,
And
they get you got your defensive backs are slow. They get beat over the top. Your safeties can't cover. Your linebackers can't cover mostly. So I mean, what do you do? And in zone, they don't play their assignment. They're not on the same page, and you give up big plays anyway. So it's like as a defense, like how have you allowed it to get to this point? And is, I mean, to this point, I mean, yeah, there's a talent deficiency, especially at safety, clearly, and you've missed on some guys clearly. They haven't developed, but at the same time, it's like, you know, the coaching on that side of the ball. It's like these players are making like mistakes that, you know, in high school you would get chewed out for. Like what Pop Warner you get chewed out for. Like this is like silly stuff, and I have never seen it just that poorly, like that poorly coached, that poorly executed at Clemson. I mean, even like the games where Clemson has really gotten, you know, destroyed over the top. I remember when Jake Bentley threw for 500 yards. The secondary didn't look that bad as it did on Saturday. Like the coverage busts weren't as bad that day as they were on Saturday. Like this is next level stuff, man. And it costs you a game that you, quite frankly, even a competent defense, you win this game by multiple scores with how the offense played. Like, it's ridiculous, look, man.
Sometimes you play a team, right? Or you play an offense, and their athletes just out-athlete you, right? They make better plays than you. And they, you know, they put it on you for a game, right? That wasn't what we saw. It wasn't. It was like any team with the secondary playing like that. Any team could have done that. And again, I'm not taking anything away from Duke or saying they're a bad football team. What I'm saying is Clemson is a bad football team, and it's very evident. Just turn on the tape. They might not even be bad. They're a terrible football team. I mean, that was a joke on Saturday. That was an absolute joke. Why'd you even show up? Why'd you even put the jersey on?
No pride, man.
Because you didn't come out there to play football.
No.
And I mean, it's very clear. You didn't come out there to play football. And, you know, you hear Dabo Swinney talk about it all the time. You know, these guys care. These guys care. This, you know, this locker room's hurting. I can't tell. Because some of them, it don't look like they care, frankly. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
All I can go off of is what I see on Saturday when I'm watching.
Body language is not good, man.
And it don't look like they care. They may be crying in the locker room, but they should have been worried about preparing before the game so you didn't look like trash on the football field. Because that's what happened.
I didn't see anybody like they're like, where's the leadership? I mean, you got Dabo screaming in the DB's face. You know, Khalil Barnes is, you know, he's looking like he's over all of this, and there's not one, like Dabo is the one doing the scream. Like, where's the leadership? Like, why isn't like,
why is the head coach the only one screaming and yelling on the sideline?
Right.
That's what I want to know. Where's the other assistant coaches?
Where's the players?
Where's the players? Where's the leadership? Where's the senior leadership? Because I saw on Duke's sideline, that dude was about to fight all the coaches and the players over there. He was fired up.
Their best Vincent Robinson, their best pass rusher.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was like, he's about to fight the whole team if they didn't get it going because they were pissing him off. You didn't see not one Clemson player do that. Not one. Why is Dabo the only one chewing people out on the sideline? Where's Tom Allen at? He talks about accountability all the time. Brother man, where you at? Why is Dabo holding your defense accountable? Shouldn't that be you over there chewing them up, spitting them out, telling them how terrible they're playing, telling them to get their ish together? I don't know, man. I don't know. They got a lot of problems. And all Saturday did was just highlight some of those problems that Clemson has. It was just a highlight. It was a highlight reel of what's going on at Clemson. And it's majority bad right now.
Yeah.
It's majority bad.
I mean, listen, like you got Wade Woodaz in the post-game press conference saying the right things, like how frustrating it is. But I don't feel that vibe from the team as a whole. Like you got Dabo in here saying these players care. Where I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are some that do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as you're right, Jordan, like as a whole, as a team, no, I don't think they do. I don't think they do as a whole. I don't. I think, yeah, there's obviously players in that locker room that care. But there, I can assure you, as 1,000% sure I am that there are players in that locker room that care about winning and losing and care about Clemson. I'm also 1,000% sure that there are players in that locker room that could care less right now.
Yeah, I mean,
they could care less if Clemson wins another game this season. I assure you, those players exist in that locker room.
Yep.
Because it's just look at the game. Just look out on the field. The tape don't lie.
It doesn't.
But you lost to another team that you shouldn't lose to.
Yeah. That's two losses in a row to Duke, by the way.
Yeah.
First time they've won in your home building since 1980.
Again, setting records for all the wrong reasons this year.
Setting records for all the wrong reasons, man.
That's the story of 2025 Clemson football. Setting records for all the wrong reasons.
The team doesn't have it, man.
They don't, and they're not going to a bowl game. I just newsflash for everybody: they're not.
It's not like this. I mean, this team winning 3 or 4, does not.
I don't think so.
Seem like
I think that is an unrealistic expectation for this team. we went from possibly competing for the Natty before the season started to we ain't even gonna make a bowl game.
There were Pop-Tart Bowl.
You had that on the bingo card.
there were Duke's Mayo Bowl representatives at the game, or I don't know if it was Pop-Tart Bowl or Duke's Mayo Bowl representatives at the game. I'm like, I don't know what y'all are here for.
What are they?
I must be here for Duke.
They must be. I don't know why they keep showing up. We ain't even going to a bowl game, much less your bowl game. We ain't gonna have no postseason. I don't know what y'all are talking about. I don't know why they keep showing up. Pop-Tart Bowl, they got more faith than anybody in that stadium or on the field. They're like, I know they're going to pull it together this week.
Yeah, dude, man. But, they kind of close this segment out. We will talk about give some love to the offense because, I mean, just on the day, that was probably their best game of the year. In terms of running the football, Cade was as poised as we've seen him all season. With a bum leg. I mean, I
was kind of shocked at how mobile he was.
Yeah, he moved pretty well in a couple plays.
He escaped some pressure. I mean, Duke came after him. He rolled out. He made good decisions. I was shocked at how he was moving on the field. I did not expect that. I expect him to be more of a statue back there, which worried me because of their pass rush. But
yeah,
he ended up being okay. So
absolutely, as weird as Walt Deptula tweeted out, he said, as strange as it is, I think the injury kind of helped Cade, it kind of forced Cade to stay in the pocket a little bit and just go through his reads, and he looked good, man. I mean, just he was checking it down when he needed to. He was finding the open guy. I mean, Antonio Williams, obviously having Antonio Williams healthy and involved in the offense, clearly earlier in the season I was like, man, not having Antonio Williams shouldn't cripple this offense this much. Clearly it does, because when Antonio Williams is on the field, the rest of the team the rest of the offense just looks better. Now I don't think Duke's defense is world beaters, and they had struggled at times. They've struggled at times this year. So, but seriously, like, that was as good of a performance really as you could have asked for given the circumstances. Yeah, I mean, people are harping on the play to Chapman Pendergrass, which I didn't like either, and
I don't like that at all.
The goal line situations there, like, that was that could have won you the game if you score 7 and instead of 3, but at the end of the day, you scored 45 points. You've never until Saturday, you had never lost a game scoring 45 or more points. So I can't, and they were offensive points. It wasn't like, oh, you got a pick 6, or like Duke got a kick return for a touchdown. No, these were all scored by the offense. Like, there's no reason why you should have lost this football game. And you ran the football effectively, especially in the first, especially in the second and third quarters, and you kind of got away from it, late in the game. But I can't really fault them too much, because hey, you still move the ball, and when TJ broke off that big touchdown on the screen pass to go up 7, I thought they were going to do it, man. There was really some belief in me after all that we had seen, that I was like, man, they might just go ahead and win this football game. And obviously the ending was what it was. But yeah, like, look, the offense, I hope, found something to build off of. It clear, like I said, getting Antonio Williams involved in this offense opens everything for everybody else up. Yeah, Adam Randall had a good day. Gideon Davidson had a really good day. When you got him on the field and you actually let him, get opportunities with the football, he looks pretty good. The offensive line blocked as well as we've seen this season, especially in the run game.
Definitely all of it. Definitely the O-line's best game all season,
yes,
without a doubt.
Braden Jacobs, man, he makes this. As a true freshman, he makes this line better.
He's a dude, man.
He's
wow.
Just having his presence, like he's an enforcer, man. Like at this age, as a true freshman.
Not only that, playing a position he has not played.
Yeah.
Like, he's been practicing at tackle all this time.
Yeah.
And then they just throw him in there at guard, and he looks like he don't even miss a beat.
Oh man, I was wondering about it when it was announced that he was going to start at guard, and they were going to, and Tristan Lee was going to take his left tackle spot back. I was like, I don't know about this. I mean, we're treating him. It kind of reminds me of Mekhi Becton, right. Just like a 6'7", guard, and you're like, what in the world is happening? Yeah, but like it worked, man. It worked. He looks really good out there. I mean, you can play him in. I mean, obviously, I don't think he's taking snaps, so you probably couldn't play him at center, but you could play him at the other 4 spots, and I think he could hold his own and play really well. That's just he's a special player, man. And I hate that. I mean, it's nice to know that you still have some youth on this team that you have to be excited about, and that's why I'm not. As much as Matt Luke's unit has struggled at times this year, I'm certainly not out on his prospects and out on this group, because I do think you've recruited well at that position still, and you've got a good class coming in still, to where and the guys you have, the younger guys in the depth chart that have a chance to develop, and the guys coming in that you could have a really, really nice line here pretty soon. So. Those are my positives. Good job offense for, I mean, honestly, there's not really much they could have done differently to win that football game.
Yeah, I mean, look, you scored 45 points. You should win that game. Yeah. I mean, yes, did the offense make mistakes? Yes. Could they have done better on like a drive here or there? Yes. But they scored 45 points. What more do you want?
Yeah.
If the offense gives you 45 points and you can't win, you just weren't supposed to win that game.
No.
I mean, it just is what it is. It's not on the offense. Cade played you know, his best, if not one of his best games of the season, on a bum ankle.
I'd say it's
Made
his
really
best,
good
honestly.
decisions. Escaped the pocket when he needed to. Stood in there when he could. The offensive line, played their best game of the season. It's good to see Gideon Davison finally get rolling. Go figure. Your 5-star running back can actually run the football. It's crazy. I know, novelty concept. Good job, Garrett Riley. Took you 8 games to figure it out, but you figured it out. Hopefully you don't forget between this week and next week. But it was good to see him. He made some noise in the passing game as well, the screen game. So he looks promising. It was overall a really good day for the offense. Garrett Riley called a pretty good game, for him.
Yeah, I mean, it was good, man. I mean, and listen, that's like, I don't think Garrett Riley is a bad offensive coordinator. Like, I've never said he is a bad offensive coordinator. Like, but I think the makings of a great offensive coordinator are in there. But it's like he has to. I don't think it's all his fault, but he definitely has to get out of his own way at times in terms of like. And you got to learn. I mean, you got to learn to trust it, running the rock, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
the thing is, like, they trusted running the rock, and another thing they did really well against Duke is just get playmakers the ball out in space, whether it was the screen game or tunnel screens or slants. Like, they slanted them to death in that game, but it worked. Like, get your playmakers the ball out in space and let them work, and look what happens. You throw it 45 points. Like, they have talent. They have game breakers on that side of the football. You just got to give them a shot.
Yeah. You just got to give them a shot, man. And look what happens.
Look what happens. Good things happen.
That was a winning performance by the offense, and
Absolutely.
So I hate it. Like, the defense had the worst game of all time to go and lose that game, but it's if there's anything to hopefully take away, is that maybe these last few games we see more of that, and but I don't know, knowing our luck, they're going to go revert back to the same old habits that they've had for most of the season. So we'll leave it at that. We already spent a ton of time on that. And we still shoot. I mean, this is a Florida State preview, and we haven't even talked about Florida State yet. So I'm sure that our viewers are waiting on bated breath.